breathwork and meditation. I realize that for many of you guys, this is going to be something that you're experimenting with for the first time. So I kind of wanted to set you up for success. I mentioned yesterday in the seminar, breath being a tool, right? I think and we think a lot about, being out of breath in terms of like CrossFit, right? But it's another thing to deliberately manipulate your breath when you're not doing exercise. And it's a tool for connecting with your body, connecting with source or spirit or God, whatever you'd like to call it. But by doing these practices, it can be very powerful. It can help you heal from a lot of medical issues as well. One of the things that's the biggest causers of death in the United States is cardiovascular disease. Due to what I believe is stress and maybe stress eating or bad eating. But doing breath work can really stimulate the nervous system. It can also relax, balance the nervous system as well. And different breath work approaches will elicit different responses. For instance, we've done holotropic breath work at the gym before. And by doing deep yogic breathing or deep breathing like that, circular breathing for a long period of time and under intense music, can elicit certain childhood memories to resurface, allow you to work through trauma. One of my first experiences, I re-experienced my own childbirth. So the breath, it cannot be underestimated in terms of what it can do for you and the power you have using the breath to control your own body. And I'd like for you guys to think about it as sort of like picking up another practice. So one of the big things is to consider for your health, right, is having a movement practice, right? Yoga, CrossFit, whatever. From a mental or spiritual side, you should also have some kind of practice. And if you don't have something like that, breath work is an excellent way to do it. Qigong, yoga, all these things are ways of calming your central nervous system and kind of getting into the right place. So, that's one of the main reasons I think it's important to focus on. You can open up pathways of energy. A lot of times people have helped with things like asthma even by just opening up the nasal passages. There's a really good book called Breathe by James Nestor that goes over some different breathing techniques and the science behind it. So if you guys haven't checked that book out, it's worth checking. But like I said, back to getting to some of the basics. So the first thing that I find to be super helpful is just posture. This will get better over time. If you guys have not sat in meditation ever, the first time you go to sit upright and sit like that for a long period of time, it can be brutal. So I recommend doing a little bit of stretching beforehand. You can stand, go through some kind of those stretches we do at the beginning of our class, hinging at the hip, stretching your back out a little bit. The reason that yoga incorporates stretching is not because stretching was the main point of the practice like you see in Western yoga, but stretching in order to be able to sit in meditation for long periods of time and not cramp up. That was the reason that they stretched, not because stretching is amazing. So what I recommend is getting a pillow. It doesn't have to be a big pillow. It helps to have your hips slightly above your knees. So if you guys can see, I've got like a little bolster here. I picked this up Tuesday morning. This is my meditation cushion. And then it helps to sit cross-legged. Typically palms up is considered the receiving position. And you want to keep yourself as upright as you can, right? And this may be, like I said, pretty uncomfortable to start, but we'll get easier with time, all right? The breath work is also an easy way to kind of give your mind something to do. What I've found when I first sat in meditation is when my ego is like, we don't need to do this. This is stupid. You should be getting up and doing something, more productive. So by going through the breath work, I think it gives the monkey mind an opportunity to focus on something. And I find it to be incredibly helpful leading into meditation. So that being said, I'm going to give you guys some easy things to work on to start. We're going to start with a little bit of yogic breathing. So when you guys are breathing, we want to breathe low into the abdomen and think about filling up a vase with water, right? So fill up the bottom first and then bring it up into the chest and then always in through the nose. You're welcome to breathe out through the mouth or out through the nose as well, all right? So I like to start my practice by doing 3 or 4 of these deep breaths and then setting an intention, whether that's connecting to the source, connecting to myself, calming myself, getting into a state of peace, whatever your intention for that day might be. Maybe it's just to have a good day. Take a few 3 or 4 deep breaths, think of that intention, and then I'll go into usually 3 rounds of yogic breathing. And yogic breathing is just big breaths in, big breaths out. Just like that. And that'll help stimulate your nervous system. We'll keep it in the CrossFit light. So we'll do, instead of 21, 15, 9, we'll do 9, 15, 21. So for 9 breaths. On the 9th breath, you're going to inhale fully, exhale halfway, and hold. And you'll be in this kind of peaceful state where you don't need oxygen. You're not out of air, but you don't need more air. It's a cool space to be. You're going to hold that for as long as you can. When you feel the urge to breathe, you're going to exhale. Big inhale. And you're going to squeeze all your lower energy centers. So you're going to squeeze your butt, you're going to squeeze your abdomen, and you're going to think about forcing energy up this channel, all right, into the brain, all right? After about 15 seconds of that hold, you can take a few recovery breaths, and then you're going to go into your round of 15. 15 breaths. On the 15th one, full inhale, exhale halfway. Hold for as long as you can. Might be 30 seconds, might be 45. Usually it'll be longer than the first. When you feel the urge to breathe, exhale fully. Inhale. 15 seconds. Squeeze everything tight and hold. And then once you get through that 15 seconds, exhale. And then a few recovery breaths, and then your round of 21. So this takes usually about 5, 6, 7 minutes. So it's a great way to start a practice prior to sitting for meditation. You're already halfway done with your meditation, just sitting for 10 minutes, all right? So going through that yogic breathing can kind of energize the nervous system. If you want a breath work for after you go through that round of 15 or 9, 15, 21, it would be to do some ujjayi breathing, where you're just going to kind of pinch the back of your throat. Almost kind of feels like you're snoring a little bit. And that'll really calm you down and relax. So you're doing slow inhales, slow exhales during that time. You can kind of tilt the chin down, and you're breathing into the back of your throat. And you can just take that breath for the rest of the time. Set a little timer. If you want to do a guided meditation or breath work, I can attach some links for that as well. But that's a good way to start. And let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm always down to talk about breathwork and meditation if you guys have any concerns or questions or things to talk about. And then just be curious. That's the whole thing. Be curious about the energy in your system. Try and bring everything inward. Try not to focus on the outside world. You have a whole universe living within inside of you, and all you need to do is tap into that by focusing on what's inside. Do not focus on the outside. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful. It's probably enough talking videos of me talking for the day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.